Cascade Hoops Talk, this is Billy D. Hey, we got one top 25 game to go through with you this morning from last night. Also, we have Chris Wright. He's the head men's basketball coach, Langston Lions. Buckle up. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. So last night, University of the Cumberlands, they played They were at Indiana Southeast. They beat them 76-68. This was a tight game, but Cumberlands was able to get through it. Indiana Southeast has a good team, but the University of Cumberlands, the Patriots, they go to 10-0. Kyle Duke for Cumberlands, 22 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and Javecchio Thomas, 19 points, 3 rebounds. So the 10-0 Patriots will host St. Mary of the Woods on Friday. That's the one top 25 game. But we also have Chris Wright this morning. He's the head men's basketball coach, Langston Lions. You guys know I pick on him a little bit on Twitter on their games. Very, very heavy defensive team. He's a defensive coach, has been his whole career. I tease him about arm wrestling matches and rock fights and those type of things, and it's just kind of teasing back and forth, but he definitely wins through defense. We had a conversation with him yesterday. I hope you enjoy it. This is Chris Wright, Langston Lion Basketball. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Chris Wright. He's the head men's basketball coach, Langston Lions. Thank you so much, Coach, for giving me a few minutes.
Hey, always good to talk with you, Billy D.
So right now I think you're 7-1, if I remember. Yeah, you're 7-1. You're winning the games you need to win. But you and I were just talking. You're winning these games obviously through defense, but they're almost arm wrestling matches. You're getting almost 10 steals a game. You're not letting teams get off shots. They're shooting really low percentages. Talk about your defense, which I know is your favorite subject, and how are you able to cause teams so many problems?
You know, I've been really proud of our guys. I think we've gotten better and better defensively. It's kind of the seasons went on. We still have a long ways to go in where we're trying to get, but I think these guys have really started to buy into our identity and just realizing, a lot of these games right now, the only reason we won is because we really defended. And so Billy D, we like a good arm wrestling match, a good rock fight as much as anybody.
You sent me a note on that when I had said something. I poked at you guys a couple times on Twitter, and you said, yes, we do enjoy a good rock fight. But, I have a question on that. When the guys, because it's not always easy to get guys to buy into defense. I mean, you know that better than anybody. When you go out and you win a game like at Nelson, right? You won that defensively. When you win a big game like that on the road and the guys know they did it through their defense, does that redouble their commitment to it?
Yeah, I think so. When when guys can tangibly see the results and see what it does for you, I definitely think that kind of fuels belief in what you're doing. And we played 8 games so far, and man, we played a really good schedule. I think we played 3 teams ranked in the top 17 in the country at the time, and then another 2 teams receiving votes. So I think we've really been tested early. And just with kind of the adversity and injuries that we've had, I've been proud about just the way that we've progressed.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the road wins, like we just mentioned, Nelson and then Texas Wesleyan as well. Wow, they're pretty good. They're really tough at home. You got that. That's another one you only scored 58 points, but you were able to get the win. Coach, you and I were talking before we started. If you look on the other side of the ball, though, it's almost a tale of 2 teams. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Right now, you're struggling offensively, having trouble scoring routinely, too many turnovers. Talk about where your team's at offensively and how concerned are you about that?
If this was going to be our team for the rest of the year, I'd be very concerned, right? Mm-hmm. But luckily, I think probably our 2 most talented players, right, really are yet to play for us. Yeah. And so those guys are going to be game changers. Right now we're having to play guys out of position a little bit. We're having to play 3 bigs together some. I mean, we have 4 healthy scholarship guards right now, and so yeah, it's been a little bit of an adventure offensively. We've definitely turned it over too much, but I think everything, we're still shooting close to 50% from the field. Um, we've done a great job getting to the foul line. I think there's a lot of room for improvement, but again, with a couple of new additions, I think we look completely different on that side of the ball.
Because right now, I don't know what your season average is. Well, I got it right here, but it's low,
I think it's like
73.
73.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so if you get up closer to high 70s or something with the way you play defense, Coach, there's teams around the country that we all know who they are. They'll score 98 to 105 every night, and you always say to yourself, well, one of these nights they're not going to score 105, and they're going to be in trouble. Well, I think the same thing when I look at your team right now. Is one night, you're not going to be able to hold somebody to.
for sure, for sure. And I think too, Billy D, like, our goal is we don't play super fast. And so I think, we're giving up like about 62 points a game right now. We want to hold people under 60, right? Like, and I always tell our guys, hey, 60 points should be enough to win you any college basketball. I love, Kelvin Sampson and what he's done at the University of Houston. But, they were talking last year to him and just kind of how they were winning ugly. And he said, hey, there's a lot of pretty basketball coaches, pretty offensive basketball coaches out there. They can't win enough games to keep their job. He said, so we'll keep winning ugly and keep doing what we do. And so, that kind of made me laugh last year, and that's stuck with me now. It's definitely not been a work of art, but again, man, to be 7-1 with the schedule that we played to start with 3 tough conference road games. I like where we're at, but I know we got to get a lot better to reach our goals.
So this is your 3rd or 4th year now at Langston? 4th year? 3rd year?
Year 4.
4. Wow, they go by really, really fast. You've built some amazing teams. You've played for a championship every year. I think every year you've been in Kansas City. Have you? You build teams. You have a unique way to build teams. You and I've talked about that many times. Have you altered your approach, the type of player you're looking for, or how you build your team since you've been at Langston?
Not really. I mean, I guess the major way that's changed is with the NCAA changing their rulings, right? Used to be if a guy had already been at 2 4-year schools, for him to play anywhere, he would have to go NAIA, right? And so that rule changed, I believe my first year at Langston. And, man, I think that's really affected, a lot of programs that were really built like transfer heavy, right? You just have to get kind of guys in different places now. But shoot, I mean, we have a great freshman this year in Jaden Williams. I do think Oklahoma's kind of under recruited, and so I would love to be able to add one really good freshman every year like him to, just have a good core of returners coming back.
A lot of schools are finding that the high schools are under recruited with the transfer portal kind of taken over. You see so many teams around the country now with really talented freshmen. So you see it's about the same in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. A couple of years ago, Jay Will would have been a guy that, we couldn't have got.
Yeah.
I think he's about as good of a freshman at our level as you can get. And so yeah, I definitely think there is some, is a lot of value there right now.
Speaking of being at Langston for 4 years, what's your experience been like? It was a unique opportunity when you took it. A lot of people scratched their heads when they did, but you're getting pretty settled in there. You're part of the fabric almost now. What's your experience at Langston been?
Oh, it's been awesome. My family and I, we love it here. It's a great place. They love basketball. They care about winning. It's a place where the guys that we bring in can be successful, not only on the court, but can graduate and get their degrees. I think that's probably the coolest thing that we've done here as a program since I've been here. I think we're now at 25 out of our 27 guys that have came through here have graduated, and so that's something that we're really proud of. So yeah, it's Langston's a great fit for me. And I really do. I just think it's a place, if we're here long enough, eventually, one day, somehow, some way, we're gonna win a national championship here. I think it's that type of job. For sure.
It is so hard to break through, isn't it, Coach? It is so hard.
It is. I think, when I look at, obviously, our last year at Talladega, We losing the national championship, and then our second year here. To be so close on a couple of occasions it's such a fine line, right? And I know to even get to that point, we could have easily lost in the Final Four both of those years to Thomas More and to College of Idaho. So it's the margin for error to do something special like that is it's really small.
I've asked other coaches about that, which hurts worse, losing in the round of 16 or getting all the way to the championship game and falling. And everybody always says it's way tougher. That's one of the hardest things to do is get to that championship game and fall.
It is. I feel like, every loss is hard, honestly. My wife laughs and jokes with me that, every time we lose, it's like there's a funeral going on, around our house. And so, but it's true, right? When we pour everything we have, into our program and into our guys. And so, when you don't get the result that you want, despite all the other good things that happened, it hurts. But it's also what makes basketball, I think, the best game in the world.
Let's talk just for a minute about the Sooner. The Sooner looks really tough this year. You've got 3 really tough road games out of the way, but Wayland Baptist looks tough, Texas Wesleyan, obviously Nelson. Just talk about the Sooner Conference and just how tough it looks.
Yeah, I think top to bottom, it's really good. You mentioned Nelson, the job Delton Dill's done.
Absolutely.
Nelson, they're a top 10, 15 team every single year. And shoot, I think last year we were the only team to go into Nelson and beat them. So for us to come out of there with a win was huge. Texas Wesleyan, super talented. You look at their size and athleticism. They're probably as good of an offensive rebounding team as I've ever played. And then, you mentioned Wayland Baptist, which I think is kind of I think they're kind of a secret right now, right? They're a little bit outside of the top 25, but and they're a top 10 team in the country. I don't think there's any question about that. So, and as the year progresses, I think people will, we'll start to pay a little bit more attention to them, but they have a chance to make a deep run. And it's like you look at the rest of our league, man, there's so many good coaches, like Mac Hughes is going to get it figured out. Like Josh Gamlin is as good of a coach as there is. They're struggling a little bit right now, but I promise you they'll be there when it's all said and done. Oklahoma City's off to a great start. So you can kind of go up and down our league, and there's not any nights off.
I was really impressed with Science and Arts against Oklahoma. Well, obviously they fell, but they gave Oklahoma Wesleyan a really good game. He's really brought that program back as well. So, you can go up and down the conference. Speaking of Science and Arts, are you ready? Thursday. You're playing them on Thursday. And you have to go to Chickasha.
We are not ready. We'll see if we can postpone that game another week. We got a lot of work to do.
Well, I guarantee you one thing. The fans in Chickasha are going to be ready for you.
Hey, that man, we've had some battles.
They're going to give you some grief, Coach.
No doubt. So that'll be here, ready or not, right?
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you giving me a few minutes. Talk some Lions basketball, allowing me to poke on you a little bit about your offense. But I'm looking forward to you getting those 2 guys back and continuing to roll there in the Sooner. Yeah, boy, it starts on Thursday, and then Saturday doesn't get any easier.
No, it sure doesn't. Hey, I appreciate you, Billy D.
Well, thanks a lot. That's Coach Chris Wright. He's the head men's basketball coach at Langston Lions. Thanks, Coach. Hey, thanks a lot to Chris Wright and to Langston University. Always enjoy talking to Coach Wright. He's one of the easiest coaches in the country to sit down and talk with. So tomorrow, another light load of games. We'll bring you the highlights. But we also have a guest, Zach Moss, head men's basketball coach, St. Thomas Bobcats. They had those 2 huge wins this weekend, including the win over Life. They were struggling a little bit coming into that weekend at the show, but they got 2 huge wins. So conversation with him tomorrow morning. Join us for that. And then I peeked ahead a little bit on the schedule, and Wednesday, we got the conferences are really starting to load up come Wednesday. So Thursday morning we should have some be able to fill in some conference results and start building those standings. Hey, thanks a lot to everybody. This is Billy D, and you have a good day, and make sure you get out and support your favorite basketball team, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.